Hello, and welcome back to Dwarven Goliath.
Yeah, our second podcast out of many. I don't know. Let's see. So, like before, we've talked about how we're going to have many topics consisting of D&D, comics, movies, and even sometimes music, if there's something that catches our eye or something like that. So, last podcast, we talked about a custom dice table, which was pretty nice.
Oh, yeah, that was really nice.
I think we filled up that whole podcast just talking about D&D and towards the end more about video games and the upcoming and new video games that are already out. But now, out of my wonderful list of things to talk about with things about things for people. Oh, that's a good title right there.
That's a pretty good title. Oh, fuck, I snorted. Fuck!
So, would you like to hear about movies? More D&D stuff, or a little extra little pizzazz that I found. Little, ooh, I did the little Salt Bay thing. I did ooh right there.
Don't do that again.
No, I won't.
That's disgusting. Let's go with movies, just because I want to know what movies are coming out, what's coming up.
Some pretty good ones.
Some pretty good ones?
I feel like if I look it up, if I research now, and there is one that I know that there's a trailer for now, but we can get to that. So the first few I have here are Black Panther. That's cool. That's going to be spicy and good.
I love Power Rangers, dude.
Yeah, the Black Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim Uprising.
Oh, that looks good.
Ooh, that looks
even
amazing.
More,
Ready Player One. The Oculus Rift real life.
And the one with okay. I know which one that one is. Okay.
And then Rampage. Have you heard of that movie?
No, I actually
have you heard of the game?
Sounds familiar,
there's
but I don't think I have.
There's an old arcade game called Rampage.
Oh.
Yeah.
I probably know. I've probably seen it and just don't fucking remember.
Then, obviously, Avengers Infinity War. It's not too far from Black Panther. It's like...
It's just another Power Rangers, right?
Yeah, it's
okay.
like all of them. But I didn't think I would put Black Panther and Infinity War... Infinity War in a list of upcoming movies, but they're so close, I think... that they could be in the same thing. And then Deadpool 2.
There's a second? Oh, yeah, I knew that.
They've confirmed them. I think there's even some footage of them on set with Cable and...
Cable.
Yeah, and Cable.
And Cable.
Yeah. No, there's some pretty nice pictures. So yeah, those are the movies.
Believe it or not, I've only seen the first half of Deadpool.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Didn't finish it.
You really didn't have to. It's one of those movies that if you catch the comedic feel about halfway, there's the movie. That's it. You can guess what the rest happens.
Huh. Yeah, but no, I didn't finish it. I got the first half of it, and I was just like, oh yeah. And then I think I ran out of time or something like that. I needed to leave, or I was at a friend. I don't fucking remember. But I just remember not being able to finish watching it. But it was funny. I liked it. It was fucking. It was
good.
It was beautiful.
Dude, Black Panther.
Black Panther?
I'm actually really excited to.
He's part of the Justice League, right?
Yeah, that guy. That Venom dude. Well, there's the thing. In Civil War, they had Black Panther, and I feel like it felt more of it was like, quick, let's just get back Black Panther in this, and let's make him a suit real quick. Because now in his own movie, the costume looks good. Whew. If you compare Civil War's mask, his Black Panther's mask then, and then in the new movie, sort of the Panther, it has the more Panther feel to it. His mouth or nose is more chubby and square, an actual panther.
Yeah.
So it gives you that feel that looks like a Black Panther. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it gives him that aesthetic look that can just accompany it in his own movie too. And plus they're going to just this realm of comic books that not at all I think that any film or TV has done or even thought of going into. Because at first probably it looks, the mask looks a little more chubby-ish.
I see what you're saying.
But that's because it's going for that Panther look. And in Civil War, it felt like what would look like a cool stealthy mask or something like that. But it could also be, they could also talk about how, because he was out of Wakanda, that was his, like, it was sort of his away jersey for, like,
away jersey.
because he's not home. That's
Yeah.
the suit he just brings with him. Or it could also be because, I don't know.
Just threw it on him.
Yeah, but in Civil War, it shows one of the king of Wakanda, I think.
Yeah.
But it shows him die, and then that's when Black Panther's like, I have to take up the mantle now.
Yeah.
Now, was that old guy who was the king Black Panther at the time, and then him, his son, who is now Black Panther,
Yeah.
was that sort of like, hey, here's a quick starter suit, you know what I mean? Or something
I see what
like
you're
that.
saying. Yeah.
But I mean, there's different ways that they can go with having that black. I mean, it would make more sense though if the suit that he was wearing in Civil War was more of a to-go suit or like a mobile suit instead of having this whole like teched out thing that he uses to protect Wakanda.
Yeah.
He just has that one if. Like, sort of like Iron Man 2, where he has the suitcase and he just throws it on his chest and opens it up.
It just opens up.
Because it's more compact, there's probably less gadgets in that, but it's on the go. Like, if he really needs it out of nowhere, it's one of those. Like, quick response.
Yeah.
So it seems like now in this Black Panther movie, we'd see more of, like, probably multiple suits, which would be amazing. And I think there is multiple suits, actually. And then there's an actor in there, I think that's going to be like sort of the villain of the movie, and it's the actor Michael B. Jordan, the second Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But he's really good. He was the Human Torch in the newest Fantastic Four. He was in Chronicles. He was in a lot more other stuff too. He was in Creed, for the Apollo Creed movie.
Oh.
So, like, he's sort of going to have this, like, I don't know, for me it feels like that rebellious, like, I fight against the tribe, and you guys are doing this all wrong, I'm going to expose you all, and that sort of feel.
Yeah.
And I think there's a scene in the trailer of both of them wearing suits.
But yeah, I'm now that I'm looking at the picture, I really like the fucking design on his face.
The new one?
It's awesome. Yeah, on the new one.
It gives him that more primal look to it.
Yeah, I like the fucking the gold tint to the eyes. That's awesome. That looks really cool.
And another thing too is that they don't really talk about it a lot, but I think it's called vibranium is the element that Wakanda produces, and it's only found in Wakanda.
Yeah.
So that's why they're so rich and they have so much technologies, because they advance so far because of all the money they get, and just that resource itself is so useful. And they've talked about it before in Captain America, when it was sort of that flashback moment. He was talking to Tony Stark's dad, and his dad was like, oh, this is vibranium. It's only found in one place, and that's what his shield's made out of, and it's been made out of that since, because vibranium just doesn't break.
Yeah. And
where it absorbs as much vibrations as it can. So that there's that moment, and then another moment when Ultron in the second Avengers movie made himself just out of complete, like, not adamantium, vibranium. And in that second Avengers part, it sort of starts talking about, like, hey, there's Wakanda, like, we're mentioning it in there. But then in Civil War, it's going even further to saying, like, there's Black Panther, like, he's from Wakanda, this is proof, and this is the black, like, in most cases, you're like, Marvel could have been like, oh, we're teasing Wakanda, like, that means Black Panther's out there. In Civil War, they just gave him. They just immediately, like, this is what you wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with his suit, and even with the shield, there's probably an image or, like, a clip that someone shoots Captain America's shield, and it just, like, splinters and a bunch of sparks come off of it, like it's bouncing off.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to bounce. Any bullet that makes contact with vibranium just stops dead in its tracks and falls straight down. Like, I think even in Civil War, Black Panther gets shot at, the bullet should just drop, because vibranium essentially, in that Signs of Marvel, absorbs all and any vibration. So, like, Black Panther could get hit by a car, and all of that force from the car will get absorbed through the metal. And because his whole suit's lined with it, like, he can take anything.
That's pretty fucking badass.
Yeah, and I want to see a shot of someone just shooting the metal and it just dropping right where it's at.
That's awesome.
As if you just fucking, like, you're just holding the bullet and let go, because all of the movement and everything, the acceleration just stops completely.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I actually really want to see that too. Isn't he the richest?
Yeah,
Like, that boy got mad cash.
Yeah, more than, well, I mean, him, because he's the king of Wakanda. Wakanda is the most successful city. It's probably a city, a metropolis, something of that large scale. Like, Tony Stark's rich, and he has New York and parts of, like, Malibu, because that's where his old home was. But, like, in most cases, when you think of rich, it's like, oh, Tony Stark with his Stark Tower. Or no, I think they moved upstate in the most recent Marvel movies. But still, that whole little connection that Tony has, they have a lot more technology because he's rich and all this. But Wakanda's like times 10.
Yeah.
Like, they just have flying vehicles, like, for buses or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When, like, if you get a shot of Tony's Avengers compound or whatever, you can see, like, a Quinjet just sort of land. But that's a jet. Like, in Wakanda, there's probably just driving, like, floating cars.
People just driving jets. It's just
It's just a regular thing, yeah. And because it was masked...
It's a poor man's car.
Yeah. Because it was masked for so long, barely now people are realizing, like, oh, shit, there's a place out there in Central Africa, that has more money than probably the whole U.S. combined.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's just... I feel like it's one of those things that the writers of Marvel was like, let's make one element and only here. And then they start thinking, okay, what about the place? Like, because it's the only element in the world and it starts right here, that's going to be the richest place ever. Yeah. If there's a lot of that metal. And that's what they did. They're just like, give them all of the money.
Give them all of it. Just
and that's basically what they did.
Yeah. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
What would you do with that kind of, like, the material? That metal?
Material? I do what Black Panther did to make a suit.
Just make a suit?
Yeah. Dude, I feel like...
I would make...
Well, I mean, anything. A car. Like, if you had that much like Wakanda, they probably use it for their flying cars and, like, their buildings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And there would never be a case of terrorism in Wakanda, because it's, if you had that mindset of, we're hidden from the world, but we're so much more rich than them, so we don't really need them. Like, isolation isn't an issue. And there's, like, I think that could be conflict with the new movie, and, like, the nemesis of the movie. Like, I'm gonna expose you, this and that. Like, I want the world to know about you, type deal. But they don't care. They don't care. There's never gonna be a situation that a building blows up and it goes down because the building's probably made of vibranium. Yeah. Or I don't know if it's that abundant, but I mean, still, it's that sense of they have that much money, they have that much resources, they can build whatever and it won't fall. Yeah. If there is a scene in the movie where one of their own towers falls, I'm gonna be like, you could have lined it with vibranium. Let's be honest. Like,
what if Hulk punches it?
Complete stop. Vibranium, really? The whole physics of vibranium, it just takes everything. So he could probably hit him. Actually, I don't know. I want to see Hulk go against Black Panther.
The Hulk is the Hulk. Like, I don't need to say more than that.
You're right.
But, like,
I'm wondering, because I feel like in the movie, what they would do is Hulk just takes a right swing at him, hits him, and he kind of, like, hits the wall, but then gets back up and fights him. Yeah. But if you want to go as accurate to vibranium as possible, he'd hit him, and his fist would just stop there. Like, it wouldn't hurt him more, but it would just stop there.
I think it would just push him. I don't think he'd take, like, maybe not that either.
It can't even push him, because that's showing that the force is being divided around to him and moving him. You know what I mean? But
that's a thing, though. Like, Hulk doesn't need to punch him directly to hit him. Like, he can just...
Oh, yeah, that too.
The thunderclap and just gone.
But another thing on the defense of Black Panther, if that metal does absorb all vibration, that does mean sound, and does mean, like, just straight thunderclap. Yeah. It would just be like, bing, just off of him. Yeah. Or it would just, like, suck in the, like, energy, and there's something.
Then how do you beat that?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's a thing. This is stupid about the movies that they did, is in Civil War, Bucky and Captain America were running to a jet,
Yeah.
And Vision just immediately, like, there was a watchtower, and he just, like, laser, and it fell in front, but they were able to get right under before, like, Scarlet Witch held up the tower.
Yeah.
They ran under, but so did Black Widow and Black Panther, who were on the other side.
Yeah.
And they were chasing, and Black Panther turned around and shot him with a taser. And then he just, like, slowed down, tried to get up, and she shot him again. And she was like, oh, like, I was on his side, but I'm also on your side, so, like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But, so he has the most, like, advanced suit, far more advanced than Iron Man's suit, but he gets dropped from a taser.
Yeah.
You would think there would be some conductiveness to it, to where it wouldn't restrict his, like, muscles, or it wouldn't even get to
Yeah,
him, you know what I mean?
see what you're saying.
So I feel like with the idea of someone being able to absorb all vibration, you kind of have to, for movies, you like, that is true, but he has to be beatable or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of having an enemy if you can't be beaten?
Yeah.
Like, put him, like, he's just laying in his suit and the person's just swinging at him, and he's just like, are you done? Are you done?
Yeah.
Like, I'm running late. Can you just stop?
Yeah.
Like, something like that, to where they'd probably work their way around to where it doesn't absorb 100% of the vibration or something like that. Or it could be just one of those things where Black Panther is like, it's supposed to do that, but Hulk just hit me like it was nothing. It's like,
Yeah.
well, it's because it's Hulk.
Because it's Hulk.
Yeah, they'll just throw that thing. It's the same thing with, like, DC. It's like, how did Batman do that? It's because he's Batman. It's like, same thing with Hulk. It's like, how did he pass through the vibranium? Blah,
How
blah,
did
blah.
Batman see a ghost?
It's Batman.
No one fucking knows he's Batman.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, that can be thrown around from both sides.
Hulk's
especially,
just like, yeah, let me hold up this world right quick.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's
just
like,
like, what the fuck?
how is that possible? It's like, well, he's Hulk.
He's
That's
Hulk.
why. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
does he need a limit? No, shut up. But it's,
Man, it must be hard having infinite fucking strength.
yeah, it must be a struggle. So that,
That's
yeah,
fucking
that's
awesome. Dude.
Black Panther. That I want to see. They could do a lot with the movie, not in terms of just plot, but in terms of, hey, while you guys were watching Iron Man 2, this is what we were doing, you know what I mean? Sort of just screen testing a bunch of gadgets and seeing all the crazy shit that Black Panther has. Another movie that is here is Pacific Rim Uprising.
That looks good. I actually want to see that. Not
It does.
because of like the story and all that. I want to
Just
see two
because-
giant fucking things fight.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm going for.
When I saw the very first Pacific Rim, it was just me in the theater thinking, there's a giant monster and a giant robot, and they're fighting. Like, what do you need a plot? Like, some people could argue that Pacific Rim's acting is bad or it's kind of cheesy. I never even read that. That's the thing. Like, I would say that, hey, there's this out there that some people hated about it, but I haven't even read that because I didn't go that far into the movie. I just watched it, enjoyed it, and I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, I wouldn't do that with something like Justice League. I would want to see what people think about it, this and that. But with Pacific Rim, for me, it's just two giant, like, monster and robot fighting each other.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Could you imagine that, like, real life, we would all be dead. Don't get me
obviously.
wrong. But,
But what if you were in the Jaeger?
oh, dude,
Ooh,
that'd be so
that's-
nice.
It's just that thought. It's a cool concept.
Yeah, it's a
And
really cool
They
concept.
kept the concept going in the second one. I mean, they're not going to drop it because that's Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm worried because most sequels, something like this, it could, if the first one was a hint of cheesy, they can make this one ridiculous and just, like, over-exaggerate everything and just... But I feel like in the end, I'm just going to be watching it to see two robots fighting. Or, like, all of the Power Rangers fight one giant monster.
Fucking
Like-
love the Power Rangers.
There's even a scene of two Jaegers fighting. And
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
There's like a rogue Jaeger that's summoning
Rogue
the monster.
Jaeger.
Yeah, it's some crazy stuff, but like.
Okay, Ray, I have a question. If
Okay.
you were to pair yourself with someone in the Jaeger, who do you think it would be?
I would go the safe route and pick my brother.
Your brother?
Mm-hmm. Because even in the first one, they're like most compatible are family members. They're close people.
Yeah.
There are some that are like best friends, and that makes sense because you're so close.
Yeah.
But like I think if there was like a percentage chance, you're like be it because there's two of them that are a father and son.
Yeah.
And they paired because they're father and son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those they share memories and they share that sort of compatibility already. So having a percentage chance, I think family members is the best bet. Plus, I mean, recently, I think in my younger years, I saw Jacob, my brother, as just like, he's there, he's annoying, he's my brother, that's it. But recently, I'm like, that's my boy.
That's
like,
my boy.
That's my brother.
Yeah.
And so that would be amazing to control a Jaeger with him.
Yeah.
And even with a friend, if I had to choose a friend, oh man, probably you.
Okay, hold on. Oh, that's a good choice.
You or James or.
Could we
Stefan.
put fictional characters?
You want an anime chick?
Don't get me fucking wrong. That'd be nice.
I don't know. I feel like that's the thing in the whole universe and all that. They talk about you. What do they call it? Is it just pairing up? I think
I'm just gonna give you two answers. One, like, who would I actually pair up with?
And then a fictional person.
And then just a fictional character, so it doesn't get too complicated with mixing
Okay,
universes and all that shit. Okay, so the person I would probably pair up with would probably be Ale.
Mm-hmm.
Because that boy's swole.
Oh, yeah.
That boy's swole. And
More maneuverability.
Yeah. That boy's swole.
Well, I think... Also, another thing, if I were to ever pair into a Jaeger, I'm slimming down a lot. I want to get like lean and deadly myself before I even step into that machine.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of. And then me and Ale, we're really close friends. I think it would be I think it would work, is what I'm thinking. And so, yeah, I was thinking him because that boy buff. Mm-hmm. My fictional character now, and I thought about this already. I would go with Ghost Rider. Because you know how he turns machines into his own thing? Exactly.
That, goddamn. Yeah.
So could you imagine just fucking everything turning into a gigantic flame robot?
That's pretty badass. Crazy. That's a far reach too. Like I did not expect that at all.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Holy shit.
He just grabs something, dude, turns it into his own fucking like that. That's what exactly.
I feel like the people in the control center of the Jaeger, they're like, okay, sync up now, and they're like, the Jaeger's still in the building. Yeah. And then they're like, what happened to comms? What happened to our like computers? We can't connect to you. The thing's just on fire, and it's his own thing, and he's like, it's mine now. Like I connected with the computers. Yeah. Something like that, but
that's fucking.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be badass, huh? I told you.
I feel like I'd choose you mainly because a lot of things that we talk about we can agree on perfectly, and there's still that like, oh yeah, I can see how this works. Like, so our minds are in sync to an extent. Yeah. And another person would be Esteban. Like
Esteban? Oh, okay.
Yeah, him. There have been times, even if it's something small, like if I listen to someone new on music, he just so happened to be listening to it too.
That's awesome.
And he agrees, like, that's some good shit there.
That's some good shit. I fuck with that shit right there.
So, like, I feel like if there was anything ever, and, like, there have been times me and him talked and we fully agree with what we're talking about. Yeah. And it's just a really good conversation because it goes back and forth and we just, again, that compatibility to an extent.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's pretty.
I wouldn't pick Ghost Rider, but I mean, Black Power Ranger.
Oh shit, dude. Who would just to end it off like this? Who would be your fictional character? Who do you think you would want to go into that Jaeger with?
Ooh. Probably. Oh shit. Someone like
fucking pick an anime bitch, dude.
Dude, freaking Yuri from Doki Doki.
Don't say that again.
No.
I'd
say Deathstroke.
Deathstroke.
Yeah. Or fuck. Yeah, him. I was thinking either him or Moon Knight from Marvel.
Oh, both are very good.
Both are good.
Both
but
are
that's
very
the thing
fucking good.
With Deathstroke, he is trained as shit. Like,
oh yeah,
that most of his, like, he does have powers, but most of his intelligence, like even his strategic thinking, is so far more better than anyone in DC. Or like, there was something saying like Deathstroke and Batman. If Batman no, if Deathstroke didn't have his quick responses or his critical thinking or like his tactics,
Mm-hmm.
Batman would have killed him a long time ago, or not killed him, but had the opportunity to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always that one moment where Batman could do it, and Deathstroke's like, "Do it, kill me," or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like, or he would mention that like, if he was just a foot slower or like a few steps slower, he would have been dead. But that shows how fast he can think, and how good he is at fighting.
Yeah.
So
To pair up with that would
Ooh.
be fucking dangerous as fuck. You're right.
what if he's quicker than me, and like, you know how the limbs are connected to the machines?
Yeah.
He's faster, so it's just moving me with him. Like,
Oh!
I'm not fast enough. But either him or someone like Moon Knight, who
Dude, what if they both were in the Jaeger?
that is deadly. That is scary. I wouldn't want to mess with that, because Moon Knight, his whole thing is like, well, not his whole thing, but like, he can sort of read how someone's fighting and either fight like them and better than them, or perfectly counter it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if it's something animalistic like a monster or a giant kaiju,
Yeah.
it could be like he can read that primal, like he runs like this, so he's going to have his arm swinging like this, or he's going to have this radius of swinging here. There's his blind spot here. Like, he reads so much to it
Yeah.
that he can just fuck them up.
Dude, those two would
That
be...
would be insane.
You wouldn't need anyone else, dude.
Exactly. Like, just get those two and, like, hell, make them, like, just make another Jaeger, but pair it to the first one. And then just have them copy it.
Just mix
like,
up all the universes, dude.
Exactly. Let's get in DC, Pacific Rim, and Marvel.
Fuck
You
yeah,
got a
dude.
deadly combination. And then you can even go so far as to, like, having more people like Batman and, like, Black Panther, or, like, someone who's
Yeah.
martially adept to just, like, kicking ass.
Fucking
you know what I
kicking
mean?
ass,
Or,
yeah,
like, Captain
fuck yeah.
America. There's always that signature thing of, there's a thing in the first Captain America, he was getting his ass kicked, and
Yeah.
he just stands right up saying, "I can do this all day." And then in Civil War, Iron Man dropped him, and he got back up saying he could do this all day.
Yeah.
Like, it was a callback to that, but
Yeah.
that shows that he'll just keep taking hits,
Yeah.
and whatever drives him to fight,
Who
it's not gonna stop.
who has, like, not necessarily like a beast kind of fighting style, but like just like you can tell he doesn't think when he's fighting. He's just going out there to fucking kill it. Wolverine
There-
kind of has that, but
yeah.
Wolverine has
Oh.
training too, so he kind of knows what he's
I
doing with
feel
the
like he
majority of the
barely
time.
uses training though.
He
That's
has
the thing, 'cause-
so much training though. That's
he-
what
but he's
pisses me
gone
off
through
about
so
him.
many wars, but he's still like, let me just run at them like this. Like,
Yeah.
how? Like, I feel like he would find a more quicker way or something. He would use some of. He probably still does use
probably
some of his
does.
training, but him and like someone like Craven from Spider-Man, or
Oh yeah,
legitimate Beast from
Yeah.
X-Men, or
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
They're best friends too.
yeah, that would actually
That would
really
be
work.
perfect. That's deadly.
That's fucked
Because
up.
it's basically, and now
How
that
I
I
would
think
make
about it-
their Jaeger too is just a fuck ton of spikes on them.
yeah.
That's it. That's all
And,
I
like,
would do.
that's the thing too, is you can give, like, I thought of Pacific Rim, how they had like a chain attached to their arm and they whip it and it'd be a sword.
Yeah,
Now imagine just having Wolverine claws on the
Wolverine
on the
claws.
Jaeger,
yeah,
and like claws on the feet and the hands still. So there's still that, like, Wolverine could do his thing with claws still,
yeah.
but Beast can just go rampage and just start clawing, and it accommodates both of them. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I just thought of another fucking deadly duo. Ghost Rider.
Hmm. Turn the whole thing into
Turn
him.
the whole thing into fire,
Yeah.
and he fights like a dumbass.
Oh yeah. He's gonna have a chain around the Jaeger.
Yeah, but and Spawn.
That's deadly. Yeah.
That was.
I don't know. I feel like would the Jaeger get a giant cape?
I don't know about that.
Because I feel like a lot of
I don't
haven't-
think he connects to the things like that.
because I haven't read Spawn, but I know it seems like a lot of the stuff that he does is because of his cape, or his cape helps him with his sort of demonic powers.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he'd go this far as the
I
Jaeger.
mean,
getting-
what if it just like it comes out of the back of the head where they're at, and it just gets bigger, like it's still attached to Spawn in
Oh,
the
it's still
in the
all
helmet.
metal too, but it's black, like a black
Yeah.
metal. Oh, that would look kind of dope, though. No lie.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
still
a
all on
reach.
fire.
Yeah, everything on fire. There's a chain around the cape, so at one moment Ghost Rider can unravel it all, just get it out, and then just start whipping them.
No, but like you remember seeing when Ghost Rider connected to that giant digging thing in like the second movie, I want to say, or like the third. Was it
probably?
Was there
I don't
three?
know. There's two. I feel like the second one was like,
I'm pretty sure it's
we
the
need to
second.
go all out.
Yeah, no, they fucked up definitely.
Yeah.
Making Ghost the first one.
The first
It
one
was good.
It's a reach, but it gets there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It like don't get me wrong, they could have done a lot better.
Oh yeah. If you go into watching the
Fucking,
movie
I think the
thinking
only
this is a crap movie, you'll see how it's crap.
yeah.
But if you go into it thinking I want to see Ghost Rider,
Yeah.
then that's exactly what you're gonna
I
get.
think the only reason people watch it, to be honest, was Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I know, like he's already crazy. Make him more crazy.
Yeah. Oh, wait, okay, hold on. I want to find the picture where Ghost Rider is
The
holding.
giant crane. I've
Yeah.
seen him change another bike into his bike.
Yeah, I've seen that too. That's fucking
That-
gnarly looking
That
too.
whole CGI part, I remember just that sort of 360 view was pretty sick. That was cool.
The fuck would you type in for that?
Wait, for what? For him turning things into...
Yeah.
I have no idea.
What the fuck would you even type in for that, dude? Like, yeah, he touches it and you know it's his. How do you explain that?
Is he taking control of it? Controlling, I don't know, Transformers?
Dude, I fucking love Transformers, dude. Yeah, I don't know how to.
Yeah.
That's just something.
But that's Ghost Rider's thing. That's, hey, he just gets to turn things into his.
I mean, and he kills people just by looking at him.
True.
He's done that.
Yeah, what is it called? The Penance Stare or
I
something
don't
like that?
fucking remember. You kidding me?
But, dude, if I got that right, I'm going to look it up and see if the Penance Stare is what it's called. I could be wrong and I look like an idiot. But if I'm right, ooh. Yeah.
Anyone that's edgy really liked Ghost Rider.
Oh, yeah,
is
definitely.
what I see.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you remember the Ghost Rider before him, the one that makes him into Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
How his horse turns into like this
Yeah.
flame.
I was
skeleton
about to
type
mention,
thing?
there's more than one Ghost Rider. And even in the comics, there's the Western Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And he has a horse that just catches on fire.
Yeah,
Like, that's badass.
It's badass.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily Ghost Rider is a title, is what it is. It's like it's a contract thing that that Nicolas Cage went through, dude. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, it's a contract thing. It's not like we're like you're going down the line of Ghost Riders, you're now one. It's not
Yeah.
like that. It's just like anyone could be not anyone, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like as long as you
A
sign that
select
contract.
few, yeah.
Yeah. Because he pretty much sold his soul to the devil is what really
devil
fucking
did
happened.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what the reason I really liked Ghost Rider was the story of like the Ghost Rider. It was really fucking cool. I just said Ghost Rider like 3 times in one sentence, dude.
The next movie is Ready Player One.
You know what?
What?
Can't wait for those VR titties. That's for damn sure.
That's the thing. There's the book, and then there's the movie adaptation. Did you find it?
No, but I fucking told you, Ray.
The Western dude?
Spawn and Ghost
Spawn?
Rider.
Oh my god.
You better make sure to put that picture on the
That's a
fucking
hell of a
podcast.
combination. Send that to me so I can put it.
Okay.
But yeah, there's the movie. Oh, well, there's the book, and then the movie adaptation. And there's that huge controversy as whether the movies get it right compared to the book. There's things like Harry Potter, or what other book to movies? There's like Twilight. Do you know any other?
Hobbit.
The Hobbit, yeah. Lord of the Rings, all that.
Yeah.
And then it could go.
Fucking It.
Yeah, it as well. And it could
love
even
it.
go to like something like comics. But I feel like comics and graphic novels are more easier to adapt to movies because you have the image reference.
Yeah.
As opposed to books, it's just words. There's not really images.
But that's what's cool about books, man. You can imagine everything. It's fucking dope.
Now imagine, do you think that there's someone out there who hasn't seen the trailers for Ready Player One, but when they go to the movies, they're like, this is exactly what I thought it was. Like, do you think, because there's so many variations.
I would say 1 out of 10.
1 out of 20.
One out of 20?
I feel like it has to be rare, but there's going to be one person that like,
Oh, wow,
yeah,
this is
this
exactly
is what
how
I thought. Yeah.
This is it right
But
here.
like, you can talk to like 12 people who read the book and they'll be like, yeah, no, it wasn't what I thought it would look like, but it was still good. Like they then come to terms and sort of meet halfway.
And then there's some people that are just gonna fucking hate on it.
Oh yeah,
but that
too.
goes with everything.
Yeah, and there's like I said, I wish that person the best when they go into the theater and like, wow, that was really fucking good because that's exactly what I thought, and like.
Yeah, that's not a very high chance of that one.
Yeah, but
I don't
mean,
really...
4 billion people on this planet, just one has to do it, and I'll feel happy for them. You know what I mean? And like, I still need to read the book though.
Fucking VR anime titties, dude.
That's gonna be the whole movie.
It better be, dude.
No, I feel like they've. Then again, like I haven't read anything in the book.
There's gonna be so much CGI in it.
It is.
It's
a
gonna
good
be
portion of
completely
it. Yeah, it's gonna be like Beowulf.
Oh yeah.
It's completely CGI. There's gonna be like once or twice. It's like a few scenes of actually the main character, but I feel like they've gotten a lot of licenses when making this movie because they have things like the Iron Giant. They got Kratos. They got a bunch of different player models because it's in this VR. It's like VR chat currently. It's like a very small, like, oh god, I just blanked on the word. Comparison? Related? They're similar because in VR chat you can just be whoever you want. And, like, you can have Hank Hill talking to Sonic or something like that.
Fuck yeah.
So, like, in Ready Player One, it's sort of that, like, you'll have Kratos talking to this and this character, or this crazy character talking to this character. And, like, it might have been in the book that they have these like other franchises characters because it's in this virtual reality and it's the future.
Yeah.
But I mean, they might have done that, or they might have just took the route of thinking, what if we got other video games and other movies and like put it into this one? You know what I mean?
That would hurt.
It would hurt in terms of copyright, but in the grand scheme of it all, you would be really happy to see like them racing, like so and so in a monster truck or something like that. Like that, having that, or even just like a small little like nod or Easter egg or something like that. There's a legitimate Easter egg in the movie. I saw one of the trailers and they're like the guy who made the virtual world was like, "I'm dying, and if you want all my inheritance, look for the Easter egg." So it's a legitimate golden egg.
It better be.
It is. Like, oh, I think
it better have like $5 in cash. Like
well,
when I go for on Easter,
more
you know
than
what I
that,
mean?
yeah.
Find that golden egg. Like $5 is in that dish
Hell
right there.
yeah. And if you're lucky, the person who put the $5 in sees that you got it and give you another $5.
Oh shit.
That's happened to me once.
Really?
Yeah.
That's never happened to me. Fuck.
You know you're really lucky if you found that one. Yeah, that movie seems like, ooh, it's gonna be pretty good. Another movie here, Rampage. That's when I was telling you that there's
don't remember.
There's an old arcade game. You could look it up.
I'll look it up right now.
And it's basically a side-scrolling thing where you're a giant monster and you climb on buildings and you destroy it.
Wait, I remember it now. There's like 2 other characters that you can play as.
There's
like
a gorilla.
Gorilla, dinosaur, right?
It's a giant crocodile.
Yeah,
crocodile.
Thing. Yeah, that thing.
And then a werewolf.
Godzilla.
And yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, they're making it into a movie.
How the fuck are they gonna do that?
It's full CGI.
Dude.
Like, well, not full CGI, but it's like, I know that Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I think his name is. I don't think the Morgan part's in that, but I probably got his whole name wrong. He plays Negan in The Walking Dead.
Oh.
He plays Thomas Wayne in Batman v Superman for a very short time, but that actor is a good actor. Him, The Rock, he's gonna be in it. And I've seen the trailers for Rampage, and it's basically The Rock is a zookeeper or like a habitat sort of dude.
I've seen the commercials to it now. Okay.
And then his gorilla just got hit with that like meteor thing of a test weapon, and it enlarges them.
Yeah.
So when The Rock's going into the cave, he's like, "What's wrong, buddy?" He comes out like huge as shit, and he's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
So then they're gonna like.
That's fucking cool.
I
dude.
feel it's cool.
It's gonna be so bad, but it's
gonna be it's gonna be bad because there's even a part where there's a giant monkey, there's a giant dog, there's the giant wolf, and there's another thing
dog.
there. But as the monsters are in the city, it shows a quick clip, and he's like, The Rock's on a helicopter for some reason with guns, and he's like, The one thing I thought would go perfect with this is a giant crocodile, and it shows a giant, like the giant like crocodile just going under the water,
That's fucking
like
awesome.
through the San Francisco Bridge or something like
Yeah.
that. But it's like it's so cheesy. Why would like even? It's understandable that that's what I expected.
Yeah.
A giant crocodile, like it's obviously meant to like over exaggerate.
Yeah.
But why would you say that? Like even then, I think I would have said like, "Yep, that helped."
Can't
something like
wait
that.
for Pacific
'Cause-
Rim 3.
Yeah, dude. The Rock's gonna be in his own Jaeger.
Dude, he better.
Because he can take the whole thing. Like he's strong enough. And then we have Infinity War and Deadpool 2. I was gonna say something else. I don't know. Those are sort of, that's them.
Yeah, that's them. Like, you don't
There's
really
not
need
much
go
to
into
talk
that.
about. I think the main thing about Avengers is I can point out is there's gonna be a shitload of actors on that,
There better be.
and that's gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
But then again, Disney owns everything, almost everything now. They
Yeah.
own Fox, they own Marvel, they probably own another handful of companies, big companies. So if they're like, oh, we need Jeremy Renner, we need so and so, Scarlett Johansson, give them money, have them go like, and it's obviously gonna do good.
Yeah.
So like they can have a big budget, like
Give him a small loan of $1 million.
each, because Disney can obviously do that. Like
because they're fucking
Justice League
rich, my god.
took-
And since they bought out big companies too, they're just getting more payback, dude. They're just
cashing it
they're
all
just
in.
fucking
Like
cashing it, dude.
Justice League cost $300 million to film.
Jesus Christ.
I haven't checked to see if they made it up, like got their money back or made more in the
Yeah.
box office, but like that was Justice League isn't one of those things that's been hyped for years compared to Avengers.
Yeah.
So having all these actors is going to pay off because
Yeah.
everyone's going to want it. They're going to go to see because of that. And even if you don't get every single actor and you get a giant group of them, they're going to be like, that was amazing. Let me go see it again. Like,
Yeah.
There's going to be so many people rewatching it or something like that. But like,
That's gonna be so expensive.
yeah.
That's gonna cost them a pretty penny.
I'm gonna see if I can check for the box offices on
They made like $3 over what they.
Dude. 300.3 million. That's still like 3,000.
Yeah, that's
What?
a lot still.
3,000? 300? 300? No,
300,000.
300,000. Let's see.
I wish I had that kind of money. You know what I mean?
Dude, Paranormal Activity, that costed $11,000 to make, and it made like millions.
Yeah.
Because it was an indie film.
That's disgusting. You know what else? Oh fuck! I forgot what movie I was about to say.
What was I gonna talk about? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I already have another topic ready, but I mean, we can still talk about budget on movies. Okay, done with movies. That's all I got for movies.
That's fine.
That's a good portion.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to look at this. Well, I mean,
Pacific Rim,
okay,
dude.
I'm gonna go into the extra conversations because it
No, I
does
don't wanna.
involve movies.
I don't want to.
Oh yeah, you
I
do.
don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Now, do you remember a video game called Duke Nukem? Yeah, you remember Duke
No, I
Nukem,
don't.
right?
This
Shut
is
up.
fucking lie, dude. Yeah, I
So,
remember Duke Nukem and Duke
that-
Nukem 2.
Ridiculous character.
Yeah. Has a movie now.
There's talks of it being in a
no,
movie.
Dude,
Now,
that's so bad.
who would you? I'm gonna ask you personally. Who would you want to be Duke Nukem? Who would you want to play that person?
Oh fuck! What's
that
his
main
name?
antagonist that
What's his
is
name?
really outgoing, charismatic with the ladies, chewing bubblegum and kicking ass, all out of bubblegum. I think he says that in the game. I hope so. There's a movie that says that. Actually, I'm gonna find the movie that says that because I know that that's a quote from a movie or from the game and the movie. I don't know.
Or all six? You know what I mean?
Probably.
Who would I want to play that main guy?
Yeah. Who would be the ideal actor?
Fuck. He's getting old now.
Oh, Sylvester Stallone?
No. God damn it. No, I was
Is he
thinking,
blonde?
Fucking, what's his
Is
name?
he in the Expendables?
No, fuck
Okay.
off. Shut up.
I had a vision of someone who would kind of work, but what has he been doing? What has he done?
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold
you're
on.
gonna have to look him up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look him up.
This is just gonna be a podcast about researching everything. And
Dude,
getting
don't be
everything
fucking
right.
jealous, dude.
Yo, at least I'm trying my best in guessing their names, and guessing what they're doing and what movies
I
or
don't
what.
fucking remember his name.
What was he in? I could probably tell you.
Fucking Ron Perlman.
That would have been that. That could still work.
I mean, he's older now, but
But then again, like, you can make him look younger.
you can. And then you can
throw
always
a little
bu-
CGI.
little CGI in there,
Yeah.
little makeup. Fucking what's his own stuntman, so he doesn't have to do anything, so he doesn't hurt himself.
That is a good suggestion.
That's exactly who I thought of right away.
Now, see, from the amazing and reliable sources that I've found through this,
Yeah.
it has been. I think it's a rumor, or he confirmed it.
Hold on. Is it? Fuck, I forgot his name too.
What is he in? What is he in?
The Old Spice commercial.
The old. Terry Crews.
Yeah.
He's black. Well, I think.
That's fucked up, dude.
Okay, that's the thing. Duke Nukem kind of. If
Just
you
throw
see
a little
Duke.
CGI in there.
Ew. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to say he can't because he's black. We've obviously had Nick Fury from the Avengers be black, and there have been adaptations where he's white. So, I mean, that can always be thrown around.
And then Jason Momoa played Aquaman.
And
and
Aquaman's
no one-
like a white,
Yeah,
little
he's like
blonde boy.
He's
a
like
little
a pure
boy.
white boy.
This dude is like straight from Hawaii, I think. And he's just like scary as shit.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
fucking
okay.
badass. They made
Yeah,
Aquaman
so
look fucking badass.
All right, that could work. Give him a little hair. But I think
Terry
a big
Crews.
part of Duke Nukem is the hairdo.
Yeah.
So this person who had probably confirmed it, or this is just a rumor of him signing on to it, but John Cena is going to play Duke Nukem.
Oh my god, I don't want to watch it now.
I can see it.
I can't see it.
I can't either.
I can't
I
see
can't.
it.
I really can't.
I can't see that.
But the article that I was reading was saying that John Cena is a very like loving person to both families and people who just like him individually for how he fights in the WWE.
I fucking
or
love
some
wrestling, dude. I
movies.
watch
Yeah.
that shit all the time. You're fake.
So a lot of it, he was in the whole Make-A-Wish company.
Yeah.
He was the most person that people, all the kids wanted to see.
That was like back
So
in 2000. Like
Still, he probably
Still?
gets a shitload of people who are like, I want to meet John Cena because it's John Cena.
You know who I
You know
want
what
to
I mean?
meet?
Who? If you were in this scenario of Make-A-Wish, or I mean, this could just be a goal of you can possibly meet them. I would want to meet Jason Momoa.
Jeez. Oh, that's a good one.
Him, what's his name? The guy from Walking Dead who plays Daryl, Norman Reedus.
I'm sorry.
He was in Boondock
Norman.
Saints, and that was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
Gal Gadot, I love you. But
who would I meet? Who?
That's right.
I think definitely Ron Perlman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely him.
I would love to meet him because
Yeah.
that's my boy. Well, my old boy. He's not even. But he's not that old.
No.
But, wait, he was in Pacific Rim, wasn't he? In like the first one.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You
He was
fucking
one of
knew
the
it,
trade dealers or whatever.
He's fucking 6'1". That's not what I asked.
How old is he? 6'1". Okay, there you go. You're welcome. Thank you.
He's
Google.
67.
That's up there, but not too far.
Yeah, he's not that far gone yet.
No, but yeah.
I'm not saying he's dying, guys.
John Cena is a very loving person that kids love, families love because the kids love him. And there's been even other movies that he was in. Like he was in a, what's her name? She was like a gross comedian.
He was in Blade 2.
Who? Ron Perlman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was a
I don't
vampire.
remember
I think
that.
he was a vampire. Was
I
he?
don't remember
I don't know. What's her name? Amy Schumer?
I'm just
Something
probably
like some
autistic.
that gross thing. She had a movie, and he was in it. There's a few other ones movies, and it's more comedic wise. I see that like now because after WWE going into acting, he was like, I'm pretty good at being funny. So then he just
He's not though.
well, again, in his perspective, he thinks I'm pretty good at being funny. So he
I'm pretty
goes.
funny.
That's how he sounds. I'm pretty funny. So like, I think he wanted to go more that route. But this is a very comedic movie if there is going to be a Duke Nukem one. But in the article, it was stating that Duke Nukem's a very, very vulgar and explicit person.
Oh, yeah, no.
So there's going to be a lot of titties.
I played the shit out of that game,
yeah,
dude. You don't even know.
So I saw, like, the beginning of the game. I didn't even, like... Then there was, like, out of nowhere DLC, and that had, like, more, like, clones of Duke Nukem. I don't know what the hell's going on about the game. But...
No one does, dude. That's the game.
So, yeah, dude.
As far as you know, it's just some rich guy that, you know, fucks women, and that's about it.
Yeah, and shoots things for
He
some
shoots
reason.
things.
Does he fight aliens or monsters?
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, it's Duke Nukem.
What doesn't he fight? Is that what you're saying?
He's probably fighting the system right now.
Maybe. So yeah, John Cena might be playing Duke Nukem, and boy, if in the future we see a Duke Nukem trailer,
I don't want to see it. I don't want to
My
see
man,
it.
I called it. It's I don't want to timestamp this, but I fucking called it. So yeah, and then another extra
I
little
don't want to see it.
extra little pizzazz that I got is the movie. There's gonna be movie Shazam for DC and the whole DC extended universe, DCEU. Not as catchy as MCU because it's 2 letters. That doesn't matter. Shazam has gotten their cast for who's playing the sort of transformed both Shazam and then the kid.
Yeah.
I think they've gotten a few other people. But recently, they got the wizard who gives Shazam his powers, or Billy Batson, the little boy. So I think in the most recent and the most referenced now Shazam comics, he was just like, oh, what's this? Secret portal. And he goes through it somehow or something like that. And
I just stumbled upon a fucking portal.
yeah. And there's like an old wizard, and he was like, you have to use this power to kill Black Adam. And he like hits him with power, and he's like, oh, Shazam! And all that. Like, that's the whole shebang. And
that's the whole story. You really don't need more than
that's
that.
it. You're welcome. He fights Black Adam, and dude, The Rock is gonna be Black Adam.
Well, that you saw from like 2 years ago.
Exactly, but think about it. Like, The Rock's everywhere in this podcast. Like, he's everywhere. So
it's because he doesn't like everyone fucking.
he's gonna have his own
him.
Jaeger. He's gonna have a giant pet gorilla. He's gonna be fight
He's been
Shazam.
in a lot of movies like the past 3 years.
He's doing Jumanji. I guess did really good. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I really want to see it.
I do too.
Because I saw the first Jumanji, and I know they're just completely wiping that off and starting anew, their own Jumanji type thing, and I want to see it. I don't care like if people are
it's
hating
gonna
on
have that more like, it's filmed like it's realism, but there's gonna be a lot of arcade in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that seems cool. But yeah, they're getting the cast together for Shazam, and they're slowly piecing it together. But every now and then, like, oh, here's this actor. Hey, this actor's gonna be in it. They did mention, I think, that Henry Cavill, who plays Superman, might be in Shazam, or he is, like, confirmed. Then again, this whole stuff, I didn't do enough research to be like, no, he's gonna be in it. I'm calling it now. Like, it's already contract signed and everything. But I'm just saying that there's been talk of Henry Cavill being in Shazam, the movie Shazam, and just be like, oh shit, what are you? Because in the Justice League, the old animated, and I think even in the comics, Shazam. The whole Justice League only saw him as Shazam. They never saw him as Billy Batson, like transform back into the kid. So when they're like, "Hey, Shazam, you want to be part of the Justice League?" and he's like, "Hell yeah!" Because like he's still this. Another thing too is the actor that they got for Shazam, like transformed. What did he do? I think he was in The Office, but he can be very comedic. So it's something that you gotta kind of be this buff dude in the mind of a kid, because that's exactly what Shazam is. It's basically, hey, give this kid like the power, the power of the Greek gods, and there you go. So most cases in Justice League, he's like, this is so cool, I'm a part of the Justice League, and then they eventually, I remember seeing a scene in one of the animated when they're discussing who and who not to have in the Justice League.
Yeah.
And if they're going to recruit anyone or if they're going to kick anyone out. And one of them was like, can we all like collectively like talk about how Shazam is a kid and he's like in the Justice League? Like, yeah, you're useful in powers, but could you do that critical thinking that we have years of experience with? And then that's like a conflict for Shazam.
Yeah.
So I could see a lot of it being undercover, sort of like Superman goes and sees Shazam. It's like, oh, like, what? Are you good? Okay, I can help you. And then just see him as that, but not as a little kid.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if Superman knew right away that that's a little kid, he'd be like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, learn with your powers first and do this and this and train and all that before coming out and fighting. But Shazam doesn't want to tell anyone, so he's just like, I'm gonna fucking kick ass. Just like in that kid's mind of just like, I can do anything. Because like, what if right now you were given the power of like, is it 7 Greek gods, and you're just
something like that,
and you're just that, you know what I mean?
I'm a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having that mentality.
Dude, just
like,
have fucking
kick ass.
Just have fucking Henry. What's his name? The one that currently
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Plays Superman.
Yeah. Just have him still play Superman.
And play Shazam.
Play Shazam and
Play
Black Adam.
Martian Manhunter.
There you go.
Green Lanterns. All the lanterns.
Just have him play.
It turns into an Eddie Murphy movie where he's just everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Just have him play.
And have them all sit at a table.
So he's just
Get
constantly
that CGI
fucking
ready,
talking to
man.
himself.
Yeah, but I've even seen some pictures of both the actor for Shazam getting swole, and because when they casted him, everyone's like, "This dude's scrawny," like, and then he's getting pretty big, and then I've even seen the director start using a little more new tech for the CGI or for placing an image into another image, like basic transition to get a CGI Shazam, but. Like, there's little hints here and there, and I think they have started filming, so I mean, I have high hopes for Shazam. There's, like, I don't think there's anyone who hates him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's that awesome mentality of, like, you're a kid, now here's some powers, and then he does good with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see that. But Shazam's never been my favorite. He's definitely not bad.
I don't know if he's anyone's favorite, but I feel like he's just, like, he's there.
He's
cool.
there.
I'm not gonna say he shouldn't be here, but
fucking kid.
I'm not gonna be asking why isn't he in this fight.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Fucking, I love Marvel, dude.
Dude, Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah, dude.
That's where it spawns from, and
I know. Yeah.
The most recent, all of the Critical Role Vox Machina comics. That's from Dark Horse.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know.
So, and Dark Horse has been telling Critical Role, like, hey, your D&D comic, it's blowing up. Like, people love it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's awesome.
That
and I
is
think
awesome.
Even Hellboy is in Dark Horse comics. I'm pretty sure.
I don't fucking know.
But, like,
To
Liam,
me, dude, they're all in the same universe.
it's all one thing. Liam O'Brien, he loves Hellboy. Like,
oh, yeah, I know that.
Loves him.
Yeah.
And I like seeing, because I loved the movie adaptation. I like the comics. I've even seen him in some video games like Injustice. But that's something I'd really want to get into, because seeing that love that Liam O'Brien has, ooh, damn. Like, there's a lot of stuff to Hellboy, but if you get a nice collection going, it, like, you can stack up on lore. You can, like,
Hellboy's really good.
Yeah.
I actually really liked it. I think that was like one of the first superheroes that I actually looked up to when I was younger, anyway.
Yeah,
and before
badass.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman, full
fucking
circle.
Ron Perlman.
He's
dude.
back, baby.
They're making another Hellboy, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With what's his name? It's like Dan Harberman or something like that. He played. Have you seen Stranger Things? I don't like
him already though.
Have you seen any images of him?
Yeah, I have. No, I've like
He's fucking scary, dude.
Yeah, no, I've seen him, but it's not Ron. You know?
Yeah, true. But then again, I
don't hate him. I'm joking.
I feel like with Ron, he has like that's
what's his name?
Dan Harberman or something like that.
It auto-typed can.
But Guillermo del Toro, I think is his. Oh, I hope I got his name right, because that's a good actor. How
do you even spell that?
Guillermo del Toro, he made Pacific Rim.
I don't know how to spell
and
that.
And Hellboy. Do you want me to find him?
Yeah, you find him.
I follow him on Instagram, because that's like a good... How rude. You know what? My love and appreciation for an actor, and you just shoot me down. No, but that director, Guillermo del Toro,
Yeah.
he made Pacific Rim. He made Hellboy. He made I can't think of it now. It's Pan's Labyrinth, and that one's pretty good. There's something else too, but let's see. Dan, is it just DK? Yeah, DK Harbor. David Harbor, not Dan.
God damn it.
You're set up for failure. So
Can Harvard.
yeah, so this is him. He was in Stranger Things as the sheriff.
Yeah.
He's kind of the crooked sheriff, and in the beginning of Stranger Things,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember
you can
that.
see
Yeah.
one of the very first scenes that he's in. He's just standing off his porch with a belly, like he's a fat cop, and he just doesn't give a shit. But let's see, he's posted an image. There's one here of the comic book next to him. You could barely see him, but that's he's pretty good, like getting that scary look. Because then again, Hellboy is from hell. Has that demonic
But he's such a
look.
nice guy.
There's another one, and the more and more I see it, it doesn't look like.
It doesn't look like him. No.
It doesn't.
I've seen
like,
it.
I see prosthetics a lot on the more facial stuff, but like
How does he keep a gut, dude?
he doesn't. He just lost it. He just got
Dude,
swole.
I want to keep a gut and get swole.
Gross. I wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, so there's that Hellboy. Ooh, boy, that looks so good. Like,
Yeah,
just
I
seeing
wanna
those
see it.
images and like Hellboy, you can go so far
I just
with
miss
that.
Ron
like-
Perlman. No.
Yeah. Where's Hellboy 2? Oh no, there was a 2.
There was a 2.
God
Just say
damn
like the
it.
third one or something.
Oh god damn
Because
it.
Ron Perlman played the second one.
Someone's thinking when I said, "Where's Hellboy 2?" They're like, "Well, I got some news for you. There is one. You want more of them?" But yeah, I feel like
I need to read the comics
Those-
more. Like, I've read
yeah.
quite a bit of the comics for Hellboy, but I know there's fucking...
so
I need
much
to read
more.
it.
Yeah,
I just need to read it.
yeah.
I don't even know where to find
the
fucking
main
comics.
film Hellboys now currently that are available. Those ones I feel like they're more comedic. Like they do have nods here and there to comics, but it does give that like, hey, Hellboy's pretty funny. You know what I mean? He
Fucking Hellboy's
he
such a
loves
good guy,
cats.
dude.
He has
he's such a
like a
good guy.
giant bowl of food. You know,
Yeah, I remember that.
there's a lot of comedic punches that you can throw in there.
He has some
they do it.
giant ass arm for some reason.
Oh, it's so funny comedy. It's what's wrong with his arm. But yeah, dude.
No, I like that his entire like existence is
Yeah.
fucking badass.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot. I don't even know who's directing
What's the-
it.
Fuck, I forgot his name. The fish guy.
I don't know.
Oh,
There was a movie that I think Gero made.
He should have his own movie.
It's called. Ooh, this hurts because I don't remember the name. It's like
Dude,
the
I don't
man,
remember any of the names.
the man who
actually.
lives in water or something like that, or
Lives in Water.
something like that. And I think it was of that character.
Really?
Yeah, they kind of played it off like if you saw that title and you clicked it, and it's just this janitor woman, and it's kind of a love story. I don't know. The movie came out. I don't know if it's a love story sort of because how could you fall in love with a fish man? But she's basically this janitor for this underground top secret base, and then she eventually sees what they're working on or what they're examining, and it's a fish dude.
Yeah.
And I think it's the fish dude from Hellboy,
Mm-hmm.
but I could be wrong. But I think I saw an image, and it looks nothing like the one from Hellboy. But then again, this could either be a completely different entity. It could be the same entity but much younger. Like this is an introduction to that character. So I mean, it could. If I might watch it and see if it connects well or if it is that character. But I mean,
Or if it's just a movie in its own.
yeah, it could be. It really could.
Yeah.
But I want to see if there's that connection or this,
Fishy boy.
Fish Boy, yeah. Shark Boy and Lava Girl 2? Was there a 2? There's
I
gotta
think
be.
there was.
I
Was
don't
there?
know. No, there wasn't.
Are you sure?
There should have been. Should have been a 2. Oh, man. Young me would have been so happy.
If there was a 2? Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Another little pizzazz that I got. A little extra. Little gift for you. Is music. I have under here just music. And I remember on the ride here, I was like, I'm going to save this for the podcast because it's kind of perfect podcast material. There's a company, 88 Rising, and they started with the rapper Rich Sugar that changed his name to Brian, or a Rich Brian. Has like 3
Or
names
Brian
now.
Rich, or like
Or Brian
Chigga
Emmanuel,
Ryan
or
something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. a Chica Emmanuel.
Or like,
But
or like Snoop Lion Rich or some shit like
yeah,
that. He's
so-
one of those.
So 88 Rising has been doing a lot for like Eastern rappers or Eastern music, where they've gotten people like the Higher Brothers or Keith Ape, and even Joji. Joji he did some stuff in Japan, but then moved to New York for like school and stuff like that. But my main topic for music right now is Joji.
Yeah.
I love the boy. His EP Will He? No, that's a song. His EP In Tongues. That someone heard him, and I want to find out who. But that
Who hurt my boy?
that whole EP was amazing. He did mention in some interviews that he wanted that a whole album, and he either decided have the album later in this year 2018, or just give you the EP late 2017, and that's what he chose. And I would have took either. If it took him 2 years to make something perfect, I would have waited.
No, you wouldn't have.
Oh, definitely I would have.
No, you wouldn't have.
I appreciate that boy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
And then
Still depressed.
oh yeah, so who hurt him? Back to Rich Brian or Brian Emmanuel. He
Snoop Lion.
sort of, I guess, boosted 88 Rising with Dat Stick. I remember seeing there was a reaction video where 88 got a bunch of rappers like Ghostface Killah, I think Designer, and a bunch of other current rappers at the time, and sort of that's what gave that Brian that jump to like, hey, I should start making more music, or this is actually working, I'm pretty good at it. And I don't know if Dat Stick is Brian's first song, but that boy nailed it as a first song. Like, the beat itself is dirty as hell. Like, damn, who, like,
Fucking mad bars
if
throughout
you
the
heard
entire
that,
thing, dude.
yeah, that too. The lyricism in that is amazing too. Like, even though it's just crazy shit of him just flaunting like, oh, I got a Maserati, but in reality at the time he was like driving his dad's van. It was just the fact that he was like all out there, you know what I mean? And I thought that was amazing.
He was young too, huh?
Yeah, I think he was like 16.
Fucking, what was he doing with that fucking bottle of Hennessy?
He got Hennessy, I saw that. And I love in the remix of the music video with Puya and Ghostface Killah, he's on a hoverboard, and the hoverboard and his back is on fire.
Yeah.
And he's just rolling around like, oh man, that kid's
fucking
at the time, and still now, that kid's crazy.
Fucking Marvel should go to his fucking CGI guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Hit that guy out like, how'd you do that? We need it. But yeah, he.
Yo, shit, we hiring.
Currently, it's the 31st of January, and now in the 2nd of February is going to be his album Amen.
Uh-huh.
I think it's Amen. And 88's been like promoting that shit everywhere, and so like I got that sit in my brain. Like, that's the first thing I'm gonna look at Friday morning is Amen, and listen to the songs. And one of them there is called Introvert, because Brian had released sort of the track list of what was going to be on Amen, and one of them was called Introvert featuring Joji. And it's amazing in my mind because I love both of them. I can see that working perfectly. Either way, I'm going to love the song. But how they do it is what like catches my curiosity.
Yeah.
Because he's recently came out with a song called 18, and that was Chris, I think the guy's name is Chris Wu, and Brian in the first sort of verse or before the main chorus.
Yeah.
And the chorus being Joji and Trippie Redd is in the second half of the song, and it feels like it's a completely different song because of Joji's chorus and his own beats and that sort of slowness to it, but it works with Trippie Redd rapping.
Yeah.
You can tell that Brian or whoever, because it's listed under Brian Emmanuel's like thing, like he's the artist who made the song, but there's 4 people in there. Like, it could have been Chris Wu or it could have been Joji himself, but if Brian's taking the whole credit for that, then you can see that Brian was just like, yo, like, George being Joji, do whatever you want. Like, that's your spot. You can like change it up entirely, or you can keep with it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's been a moment in that you can tell how he's being able to write some of the music, and there's a moment where he's put into music or put into a song. There's a song from the Higher Brothers called Nomadic, and that it's the Higher Brothers with their fast-paced rapping sort of, or you can sort of feel the upbeat, how quick it's going, and you can catch the tempo. And Joji would have slowed it down entirely, but instead he was singing a chorus with auto-tune, sort of keeping that tempo.
Yeah.
And it felt unnatural, or it sounded unnatural to me. And that it sounded like the Higher Brothers was like, here's some lyrics, just sing that, and then we got the chorus done. Thank you. Just thank you for being here. Like, that's just, they wanted him on the song. But when on 18, like I said, Brian was like, that's, if you want to be on the song, put what you want. So you can tell there's a difference, because Joji, if he didn't have his own style, if he didn't want to try to like merge with that one, you can see it there.
Yeah. That
he changed the whole thing into a whole different song. So if he had a chance in Nomadic, he would have had the chorus being something totally different. So and Joji has done some rap stuff before prior. He's done obviously Pink Guy, but that was more of like, I don't give a shit, I'm rapping type deal. And in Joji, he's had We Fall Again, but that's still like really slow. That's been in Pink season. And then Old Yeller, that was one rap song that he there is a rap flow to it, but you can still hear how he's going at that slow tempo.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, because he obviously can rap. You've like with Pink Guy's performance and all that, you can see it definitely. And in this, I want to see if Brian and Joji come together, like make an agreement, like the song is gonna be like this, and we're gonna keep it consistent to where it's either like Joji's gonna speed up or Brian's gonna like slow down for Joji in tempo wise.
Yeah.
And even mood wise, like a lot of Joji stuff is like, oh, I'm hurt.
I'm hurt.
I'm sad. And like Brian is more like, yo, I'm fucking 18. I'm alive and rapping and I'm living it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a huge difference there. But Joji can obviously do the like, I'm making it too. Like, this is the fucking life I'm living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really want to see how they can merge that together.
I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Completely honest.
Either way, I'm gonna love all of Amen. Like, I've heard See Me. I think there was another song. I think 18 might be on that album. But for the most part, I feel like there's going to be a song in there, be it the one with Joji in it or something completely different that I'm just going to, like, attach to right away.
Yeah.
Like, in Tongues, at first I loved Will He because that's the only thing I heard from it.
Yeah.
But then listening to Demons more, that song, I love that song a lot more than Will He now.
I haven't listened. Well, no, I have. I've listened to everything that Joji has currently put out. I don't listen to it regularly to
get that familiarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like when it comes to music for me. I'm super fucking diverse.
Mm-hmm.
I'll listen to anything.
Oh yeah.
Except country.
Same thing. The exact same thing.
Yeah. I'm
diverse. I can listen on the full spectrum of like Suicide Boys. Or something soft like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Like there's not really anything that sort of cages around what I like. It's very broad. But country, it's like, you can't do that. Some country, though. Like Johnny Cash or something like that.
You know good music? Let's make it not that.
Yeah. There's
I'm joking.
I think it was my brother. He was like, what's the difference between country music and a bucket of shit? And then I asked him what, and he was like, the bucket. I thought that was amazing. It hurts. Like, if you compare anything to that, like, just not even country music, if you just say like, oh, do you know so and so, what's the difference between them and a bucket of shit? The bucket. Like, that's fucking good.
That's fucking good.
Yeah. Want to wrap up here?
Yeah,
we'll
like this is here for today.
A good podcast.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good evening and goodbye.